Did you just say you're confused and you don't know what to do about you being a 20s? Did you say you want to skip to your 30s? Are you feeling not so good being 20? Well, guess what? You found the right video.
Too low to the mall with a couple capos and a hundred.
If you didn't know, my name is Tracy Congola. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're confused about your 20s, look, I got you. We're gonna talk about what you have to do not to be confused, how to be able to pass through this phase. So first things first, when you're in your 20s, I know everything feels like it's speeding or everything is like super slow. And you don't even know what to do with yourself at this point. You're like, why is my life moving so fast? My phone will keep on sliding. Just like everything in your life is super speeding or is super slow. And you don't even know what to do with yourself. So the first thing that you have to do in your 20s is find peace. You really need to get this. You have to find your inner peace. You need to be able to sit down and let everything just go the way it is going and not being moved. I know inner peace can mean a different stuff and different meaning depending on what level you're talking about inner peace. If it's spiritual inner peace, I'm not talking about that. But if it's inner peace, I'm talking of inner peace being able to like sit down and let everything go by without you being affected. And how do you do that? People always ask. It's when you're able to sit down and be like, oh, she got married, okay. You're at peace with everything that's going on. You don't just living, you're just letting life go the way it wants to go. You're not trying to control anything. Because when you try to control everything, then you're not at peace. You're rushing, you're trying to do things that you cannot do for some reasons. And I'm here to tell you this. You have to find your inner peace. You have to find what makes you feel calm down. Is it journaling? Is it going to bed early? Is it watching a movie? Finding what makes you at ease in this era, in this time, whereby everybody's telling you what to do, what not to do, or you telling yourself what to do, what not to do, which you don't feel like doing, but you just have to do because society thinks it's the best thing for you to do. And you're like, what do I do with myself? So you have to be able to sit down and not think of like, what do I do with myself? Why is it going this way? Being able not to question yourself, being able to sit down and be like, I don't care. Everything's gonna be good. Just let everything die out. Like this movie whereby there's like a lot of wind and then this superhero just comes in and like poof, everything calms down. If you're able to do that for yourself, if you're able to just sit down and let everything calm down itself, then you found your inner peace. You're doing it, babe. We are growing. You are doing it. No feeling pressured by whatever that's going on. You have fun. I have seen girls in their 20s and they just tell you they just really don't care that much. They don't give a damn about everything that's going around. If they can't control it, they can't control it. The only thing they can control is sit down and do their makeup, but they're gonna do that because that's what they can control. So you have to find your inner peace. And then moving on to the other one. In as much as we're in our 20s, it feels like when I say 20s, I'm saying 21 to like, I'm saying 20 to like 27 ish. I feel like you can still be in this era by 27, 28, 29. You might know what you're doing, but at this point, 20 to 27, you're really like, I don't know what's life doing to me. I'm not sure what it's doing to me, but I'm gonna do it. So you have to be mindful of your social media. I know social media has an impact on pretty much everybody, myself, whoever out there is being impacted by social media. Even if you don't look at it on your phone, you always have somewhere you look at it. Social media, whatever. Should I say media to be exact? Mass media, whatever. But talking about social media, like on your phone, your laptop, you have to avoid following people that make you feel pressured. The baddie types. I know the body types are doing their things. They're making people feel confused about themselves. The body type, if you know what I'm talking about, everybody wants to be a body these days. Even if sometimes I see them, I'm like, is she a body? And then you're like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not here to roast anybody. I'm just here for a good time, okay? So avoid following people that make you feel pressured. And when I say people who make you feel pressured, it's people who don't look like you. Let's say you have my skin tone, or you're a girl like me right now. I'm more of like a chill vibe. I'm like the book girl, the girl that goes to the library, the girl that doesn't really go out that much. And then all I'm following on my social media is people who go out, people who party a lot, people who just, go around and enjoy life. And that's not my way of enjoying life. I might be like, that's not me, that's not me. But the more that I look at it every single time, it's gonna have an impact on my brain. And I'm gonna think, oh, I have to go out too. You know what? I have to look for friends who tell me, let's hang out. It's always going to impact you one way or the other. So you have to follow people who are like you. If you look at my Instagram, I follow people who are like me. People who like to read, people who like to watch YouTube, people who make YouTube. I just follow people who are like me because I feel motivated and not feel pressured. There's a difference between feeling pressured and feeling motivated. There's really a big difference. And also, when I say avoid following people who are not like you, follow people with your skin tone too. You cannot be following people with straight, silky hair and you have kinky hair. You don't want to do that. I've seen people doing it. I'm like, well, what can I say? They're just damaging. You're just damaging yourself with. It is better to look at someone who looks like you or someone who brings out the vibe like you. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're not open minded or you're not an open person. You are, but you just want to avoid social media. If that's all. If you hang out with different type of people, cool. But not don't do it on social media. Social media is all fake. Okay? If you're doing that, you're pressuring yourself. Clear your social media, okay? That way it can help you find your inner peace quicker than following people who don't look like you, people who do things opposite from you. No, no. And if you feel like you post just so someone else can see them, or you're competing with someone, block that person. They don't have to see it. You don't have to see their post. So it is what it is. Just do it. It's for your own good sanity, okay? And then moving on, it's okay to be confused a little bit. I know this confusion comes like from a place where you look at your social media. I always do this. I don't know what's wrong with social media, especially TikTok. I deleted TikTok from my phone. I don't want to see it because it feels makes me feel so pressured. So what happened is if I'm thinking of a relationship, one way or the other, TikTok is gonna show me about relationships. If I'm thinking of breakups, it's gonna show me about breakup. If I'm thinking of whatever that I'm thinking of, it's really gonna show me that. And so this can make you confused. You don't know if you want a relationship, if you want a situationship, if you don't know if you want to get married, if you want to stay single. You're just in this area. You're like, I, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with myself. You know what to do with yourself. You know what to do with yourself. You know what you want. Okay. It's like I want to be in the healing era. I want to be in the self-love era. I want to be in this era. I want to be in that. The list is endless, and you don't know which one to pick. I will say pick the second one. My English teacher always says pick the second one. Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you that. That's crazy. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't pick the second one. Okay. So it's okay to be confused. It's okay to try to do everything at once. It's fine, but don't stay in that era for way too long. Don't be too confused, thinking, oh, I think I should get married, and then 2 seconds you're like, I think I just want to be single. Like, don't stay there for too long, okay? And how don't you stay there for too long? Your social media, number one. You start from there. You start small. You start from following people who, like, that's this time you're like, I like this content. The second you like that content, what is that content creator doing that makes you like it? And if they're doing something that makes you like it, maybe they're in a relationship, then try to get yourself a relationship and follow people who are in relationships. If they're single, then try being single and see where that goes. Pick one, at least pick one and try and see if it works out or not. That will help you get out of that confused era. If you choose to be in a relationship and then you think 2, 3, 6 months down the line you don't want to be in it, drop it. If you say I'm gonna be single till like I'm 25 and then you're 23 and then you're thinking, I think I want a relationship. Be in that relationship. Try everything, okay? But don't be too confused. Don't touch on. No, no, no. Pick one and try it. If it doesn't work, then pick the other one. Trial and error. Don't try everything, please. Just do trial and error. Like you try this for a certain amount. If you feel like what's the right amount to try out something, give yourself a specific time that you want. Do you think you can handle something for 6 months? Do you think you can handle something for 3 months? Do you think I would say minimum should be 3 months to handle something? If it's 3 months, you don't like it, stop. If it's 6 months, you don't like it, stop. If you continue, you're just hurting yourself and not giving yourself space to grow. So 3 months, 6 months, I would say if you want to go through a year, go through a year. But you just know. Okay? It's your choice. But don't stay too confused for too long. That's the whole point. I know when you're in your 20s, you see a lot of girls posting with their girlies, enjoying, having fun, and you're like, oh, I really want that too. I really want to be with the best friend. I want to be around people. And if the people who are around you, if they're not giving you that feeling like you're around them that makes you feel good, then you're in the wrong space. You're dealing with the wrong people. And it's okay to give yourself space. Stay away from everybody else. Tell them, look, I'm going to come hang out with you guys, but not today. Not tomorrow. I'm just going to be out for a few times and then I'll come back. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. And don't be, when you choose this, when you choose the space away from people, don't feel bad when they don't invite you to parties and whatever that they're doing. Do not feel bad because you chose it. You wanted it. So what's going on? Why are you upset? Anyway, so that's what it is. So you have to give yourself space. Sometimes you even have to give yourself space from family. Just have time, to find your inner peace. Delete your social media, which is not doing you good. Pick whatever that you want to try. Stay away from people. Stay away from even advice. Sometimes people give you good advice, but it's not good for you at that moment, if that makes sense. So you want to stay away from everything. You just want to be yourself. Spend time alone, watch TV, take late night showers, have a grooming day throughout the week. These are all things that you can do for yourself to stay away from people. Paint your nails, do fun stuff, okay? You can always do fun stuff alone. I don't have friends. I don't feel bad. I'm the happiest that I've ever been. So yeah, I don't really have friends at all. I mean, that's one consequences of moving abroad. You won't have friends, I guess. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's just go on. Take space, take a break from the world, take a break from everybody else. If you want to do social media, you can. I have deleted TikTok for 6 months and I don't feel bad and I don't even care. So from all this practice and making choices and not trying to stay too confused for too long, you have to have long-term goals and short-term goals. Short-term goals are like, what are you gonna do next week? What are you gonna do next month? What are you planning for your birthday? What are you planning for this? These are short-term goals. You want to do your nails. You want to get a car. You want to get, the short-term goals, like, the quickie stuff that you can get to quick. Those are your short-term goals. And your long-term goals is, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? You're 20 today. When you're 30, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself being someone else's wife? Do you see yourself being a career woman? Do you see yourself having multiple relationships? Do you see yourself being just you in your ear without anybody, without any change, without anything going on? Where do you see yourself long term? In 10 years' time? In 5 years' time? Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself doing well? Do you see yourself, just not being confused, knowing what you want? Do you see yourself striving to get something that you still haven't gotten till now? Where do you see yourself? You always have to think of this when you're finding your inner peace, when you're clearing, when you're parting from people. Where do you see yourself? What type of lifestyle do you see yourself having? What type of people do you see yourself hanging around with? And how confident do you see yourself being in those years? And if you see yourself being a career woman, driving an expensive car, um, being the family, rich aunt, maybe. I don't know, whatever that you think of. You then have to think of what do you have to do to be that person. Start acting like that person. Start working hard. Start putting yourself first. Start doing everything. There's this theory that my teacher always tell me: save yourself first before saving anybody else. So look at yourself. What do you have to do to get there? Do you see the woman in that time being confused? Do you see a woman that time touching this, touching that, just following people, doing things that does not sit well with her? You have to love yourself to an extent that you're like, do I feel like I am worthy of all this torment, of all this confusion? Do I want to stay here for long? No, you don't want to stay there for long. You just want to be yourself. You want to be the best version of yourself. And so, if you're able to look up and be like, oh, I see that girl, be that girl. Okay? Be that girl. Start being that girl. Start, you know, manifesting that girl. Every day, wake up to yourself. Tell yourself what you want to be and do it. Don't just sit in bed and be like, oh, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. Don't say I'm going to do it. I am doing it right now. So be that person who lives in the present and fights for the future. So 20s is something that you really, really, really want to have, but you don't want to say it out loud. You're just too ashamed to say. You just feel like it's the wrong thing, and you just feel like, what's going on? What is that thing that you can't say out loud? If you can't try writing it down, what is that thing that keeps you this confused, because this whole confusion comes from somewhere. And if you're able to sit down and be like, look, I'm ashamed of this, if you're ready to sit down and be like, I'm ashamed of how big my forehead is, I don't know what to do with it. And then think, why are you feeling that way? Why are you ashamed of that? Is it because of what people say, or is it because of how you see it yourself? Okay, what are things that you can do to stop feeling ashamed of it? Where wigs, bangs, get hairstyles that don't really pull on your forehead, make your forehead too shiny. What are the things that you can do for yourself that will not make you feel ashamed of that thing? You got a scar somewhere, you just feel like, I can't do it, I just can't. You just don't want to think about it. Find that one thing and write down about it and write what's beautiful about it. You know, write about the positives. Don't write the negatives, write the positives. When you're done, write the negative. And then cancel out. If the negatives outweigh the positives, that's fine. As long as the positives are there, oh, you're good to go. The last thing, the very, very last thing that you have to put in. What were your past experiences and what have you learned from it? So what were your past experiences and what have you learned from those past experiences? When somebody breaks your heart and your new boyfriend asks you a question and says, "So, what did you take from that relationship, or what did you throw away from that relationship?" And you start explaining to them, "Oh, they hate me." That people don't really say what they learned from that relationship, or they don't say what they learned from that friendship. And as long as you're not able to look at it and be like, "Wait, this happened. I could have done it better, or could have been more this and that," then it's not my fault, it's their fault, then you're good to go. It's never your fault. I like people who break up with people end relationship and be like, It's not you. It's me. It's really not you. It's not you. It's never you. It's that person. But what did you learn? What did you, from all the experience, what is the one thing that touched your heart, changed your like, I kind of like that. Oh, I did not like what happened. I did not like what that was about. It just did not sit well with me. What have you learned from that? What have you learned from having your family around, and now that they're not around from you? What have you learned? When you're able to grasp what you have learned, then you're good to go. You're good to go. You can actually overcome this 20s confusion. You can do it. You can really do it. You can find your inner self. You can live up to whatever that you want to live up to. So when you're in your 20s, you have to find your inner peace. Avoid following people that make you feel pressured. You're okay with being confused at this point, but you don't stay in there for too long. Give yourself space from everything and everyone around you, and give yourself time to think, what do you really want? What is it? What is going on? Where do you see yourself in 20 years, 10 years, 5 years? Your long-term goals. What are your long-term goals? What is something you want but you don't want to talk about it? What is it? What is it? When you're able to figure out that, you figured out the 20s. What were your past experiences and what have you learned from them? When you're able to sit down and look at all this and make a list and be like, when you start thinking about yourself, thinking about what makes you happy, then let me tell you, girl, you're gonna make it through your 20s. And you're not gonna sit down 10 years and be like, oh God, I should have done this, I should have done that, I shouldn't have done this. Why am I here? You're not gonna ask yourself that question. You're gonna be proud. You're not gonna be scared to talk about your experiences. You're gonna embrace whatever happens, good or bad, because that's life, okay? Every day is not gonna be a blue sky. You're gonna have gray skies sometimes in your life. And social media shows it's so sad how social media shows it to us like it's all beautiful, it's all like, oh, I'm always happy. I'm always happy. This is how I look at those influencers who do that. They're not happy, they are the worst, okay? And it is so sad that us who are consuming that content, we then tend to beat ourselves and be like, why can I not just be happy every single day? Look, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. So, we have come to an end of this video. And if you watch till the end, I love you. I love you so much. So don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, whatever that you want to comment, whatever that touched you, just comment, okay? And follow me on my socials, which I'm gonna leave down below.